Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. That was some good music tonight. I remember that. It was all my Jordanian music that I downloaded for the edits. I actually am way behind on some of the editing stuff I've got supposed to be delivering. Let me get the camera right. There you go. I've still got the episode of the Decoding Andalusia I have to get, and there's one more of the Petra behind the scenes as well that I'm supposed to be getting out. So I think I'll get that done this week because um I've still got a bit of a head cold, guys, and I've got a cut on my head. You see that? I was in a pub in England. I'm back in Spain now, but I've been in the UK for 3 nights, and I banged my head on a pub because I'm too tall for a lot of these old-fashioned pubs, and I really smashed it. It was bleeding. So anyway, we live and learn. Still got a bit of a head cold, so I'm still a bit stuffed up, guys. Excuse the sort of nasalness. What else have I got to talk about? Yeah, the UK was cold. I can't say I'm a fan. I have to go for work, but it's like I really don't want to do it. But I'm always very pleased to get back to Spain. I'm so blessed. I was sitting next to a nice kid on the flight tonight, and no vaccines, no tattoos, quite awake. Been married a couple of years. It was nice hearing he's 30, 35, 36. So, I'm thinking back 20 years ago when I was that age and all the things that have happened since then for me in 20 years, what's happened. Wow. Wow, what a lot of stuff's gone on, been under the bridge. Um, I was up in Birmingham. That's where I was flying through this week, if anyone's interested. Yeah, Birmingham. Nice people though. You know what? When I fly into a couple of different airports. I usually go Birmingham's one, Bristol's another. East Midlands I've used before. London if I have to go to London. But it's funny when you get on certain airlines with certain people, then the more north you go in the UK, the nicer the people are. All right, mate, no problem. If yeah, no, you sit there. I'll move. I'll move. I don't want to sit next to my wife anyway. That's a lie. They never said that, but I have had someone say that, but not recently. Um, how's the volume tonight? Everybody happy with the quality of the broadcast and the recording tonight? Everybody okay? Nobody complaining yet? No? Seems all right. Yeah. What else am I going to talk about? I didn't get this alert, but everybody was contacting me saying, not everybody, but I had 5 or 6 people say, "Hey, Mahoney, are you back? When are you getting back? When are you back? When are you back?" I was like, "What's the matter? Why are you so anxious about when I'm getting back?" It's because we got a red alert out tonight for the weather conditions. Apparently, the next 2 days, it's going to be so bad they've closed the schools for tomorrow, and they're telling everybody not to leave the house. How bad can that be? From a storm that's sweeping in across the Atlantic, hitting all of Andalusia in southern Spain, right up as far as inland as Seville. I'm supposed to be in Seville tomorrow, so I might delay it or I might just get in the 4x4. I'm taking back a Land Rover Discovery back to Seville tomorrow to swap it over because my car was getting repaired up there, the tires. And I might just take it, see how bad could it be out in the middle of an amazing storm. I mean, I went through one last week, which was pretty good, but we didn't have red alerts. We had amber, but red is seriously serious. So I'm thinking that could be quite fun, actually. There'll be nobody on the road except me. So I might just do that. Let's see how I feel tomorrow. How I feel tomorrow. How I feel tomorrow. Why am I repeating myself? Hours of fun driving around in an a red alert storm. One of the incense that I burn, this Jordanian stuff. I wish I could put the smell through the broadcasting. Oh my God. It's so nice. And I'm completely addicted to it, I have to admit. I have addiction problems. I'm addicted to incense. Um, what else was I doing in the UK then? Well, the reason I go back is I always go back to the factory and we discuss new products. Oh, look, I put ash all over myself. And I've got a couple of new things coming out. I'll talk to you about it when I've got them finalized, probably next time actually. But I'm going to be testing one of them, which is called retrobutide, which is it's kind of like a weight loss, but it's an injectable, and I'm not convinced about injectables. I haven't started it yet. I'm going to play with this because we've got this um, specialized pen. It looks like an EpiPen, tiny little needle. You just put it in any fat layer of skin. It doesn't even feel anything. You don't hurt. But this retrobutide is so advanced, and the technology and the clinical trials by Eli Lilly have just done 67 months of trials on it, or was it weeks? 67 came up again, that number. Um, and the way it works is it's even better than the PP332. It puts your body into burn mode when you're just taking the fat off your body and burning it. And a lot of the professional gym and athletes and Hollywood stars use this with two or three other products which I make. So I think I might have just found the ultimate weight loss in safety pack. Well, that's a sleeping one I've got. I've got medicine pills everywhere. No sleep, great sleep, no hangover. What's that? Magnesium. They're not for me though. So I'll let you know anyway because I'm very, very excited about it. I'm I will do them in a set, but it's going to be TBC 500, BPC 157, PP 332, and this retrobutide. I don't know about injectables. I don't like them, is the problem. It's a bit of a personal thing for me. So I'm ha having my team look at it legally and what we can get away with on a legal basis. Is there anything left in that? Yes, there is. I'll have a bit of that now. Anti-inflammatory. So we'll get back to that anyway. On Sunday, I went to church, this born again Christian church that my friend always goes to, and it still continues to fascinate me about how people connect and worship. You know, some people are really in their arms in the air and their heads down, and actually just one hand, they tend to sort of sing and do this, and how people can connect to whatever God they believe in. And this church is all about Jesus and, the Son of God and the crucifixion. But coming from a Catholic background as a kid, being dragged to church because I never wanted to go, um, they kind of do things differently because they did the bread and the communion right at the start. I was like, have I missed something? This is normally they do that at the end in Catholic services because there's only about 15 minutes to go. It's a bit like when you hear the landing gear coming down on an airplane, you think, brilliant, 20 minutes to go. But I do like it, I have to say. I mean, I don't know these songs, so I'm not singing. They have them on the screen, but and I don't take the communion bread because I think that's a bit strange, actually, in all honesty. But it's very nice watching people connect into that energy of spirituality, spiritual connection to whatever they believe in. And I think that's the important part of any of whatever church or whatever spiritual grounds that um, you seek out. I think that's the whole point. It doesn't really matter what you call, well, unless you're a devil worshiper, I suppose, and you're wearing hoofed trousers and ghost masks. But it's very nice to watch how they just all tune into it. They bring the kids along, there's kids everywhere, and it's pleasant. I wouldn't say I'd like to do it every Sunday because it does, I find it is a little bit draining, but I do find it an interesting exercise into spirituality. So if your church goes, good for you. If you're not, maybe you might find something in there for you. In America, you see such diversity in the church when they're all getting crazy and dancing. And there's a big black community with a whole band singing with uniforms on. And, that's too much over the top for me because I tend to do better and connect better when I'm alone. Now, I've been told a few things through this week. It's at the end, we're now at the end of a very important cycle for my particular horoscope sign, which is Gemini. And Sagittarius is another one. I've been spending a lot of time with Sagittarius. I don't know anything about this, by the way. Oh, I wouldn't hang out with a Sagittarius. Oh, you're brave, aren't you? I don't know anything about it. I mean, I display typical signs of a Gemini, very communicative, good with languages, high-spirited, smart, I display signs of that, but I couldn't pick out, oh, definitely Scorpio. Pisces, though, as well, no? Maybe a Pisces? I'm not that guy. But over the last 14 years, we've been abused, apparently. Geminis and Sagittarius, I think there's two others as well, have been abused by people who have taken an advantage of our kindness. And we have now been liberated, and the truth is going to come out. And the people that have been abusing us and lying to us and this sort of thing will be exposed. So that's what I've been told. Full moon, I think, yesterday, was it? Or is it tonight? Or was it 2 nights ago? Anyway, I looked last night in England. It was hard to see, but it looked pretty full to me last night. But I'm not sure if it was full today, tomorrow, whatever. But full moon, the power of the full moon. Do you feel much difference when it's a full moon? I actually don't feel any difference on a full moon. Many times I've had to sit there when I've been in a personal relationship with someone who seems to know much about the moon. I'm going, yeah, yeah, uh-huh, oh, I feel that as well. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Trying to change the subject. Have you, oh, we still want to talk about the moon, do we? I exaggerate for a little bit. Oh, I hit the light switch with my foot. Look at that. Come on. Um, yeah, and there's a wind of change in the air. I can feel something coming now, something bubbling for me. I don't know what it is actually, but a lot of the stuff is saying, oh, something I've been manifesting is about to come true. I'm thinking, have I really been manifesting much? What have I been really, really, manifesting? See, manifesting, I think I've got a couple of videos on that tonight, at least one. Manifesting is something that you really, really, you really want in your life. But I've always been that, okay, look, just whatever happens, I'm happy with that. Just do I deserve it? Great, then I'll accept it. But I don't have a list of things that I really like, oh, I'd love it. I really want that to happen. I have a feeling a lot of things are going to happen. I still feel I'm going to get my voice onto a very much larger stage, however that stage is going to be, whether it's literally a stage at the stadium or an event hall, or is it going to continue through these videos I do? Because I could make this very big if I wanted to, but do I really want to go massive into this in 4 or 5 broadcasts like the madness days of COVID? No, I don't want that. Do I really want to be famous? No, I've tried that before. I didn't like people coming up to me and like, oh my God, it was so great to meet you. And like you said that, and it was amazing. And I was like, who the fuck is this now? It's not a nice feeling when people know you and you don't know them. They're coming at you in random situations where you're just minding your own business, having a pizza, and somebody says, "Ah, Mahoney, how's it going, mate? Yeah, yeah, you good? Hey, that was brilliant." And it becomes confusing for me because the amount of different things I do and the amount of travel I do, I actually get confused about how I know them and where I know them from and sort of from what background. And then it always takes a few minutes to figure out, that's how we know each other. So it happens to me quite a lot that. It's not my favorite feeling, but no, I don't want to be famous. So anything I do is not to be famous. It's just to follow my karmic destiny, I think, my path of what I agreed to do before I was brought back in here, because I absolutely believe in reincarnation, which is a struggle when I've got Christian, born again Christians all around me, because they don't. If you say things like that, I think you're harboring a demonic presence. Mm. So, yeah, there's a wind of change blowing and coming. I can feel it just starting to pick up a breeze. So let's see what happens. Who is texting me now? Uh-huh. Oh, 1 second. See, I forgot about this. Iota. Now, I'm actually doing two things tonight. Going to do this broadcast. I literally just got off a flight, got back from the airport, and we're doing this. Um, and I've got something else. I've got another call with a spiritual person. I'm being involved with doing something online tonight. Apparently, I've been included in it. So I'm going to play videos and I'll be doing both, but I should be able to do both. And if there's anything interesting comes out of this, I will share it with you. Bueno, let me play the first video for you and we'll go from there. Let's see where this goes. If it goes totally wrong, like somebody was telling me the other day, oh, that all went totally wrong for you, Dave, eh? I was like, oh, that's nice of you to say that. Thanks a lot for that. Right, what's this one about first? Best time I ever had in my life.
Line I've ever heard.
Oh, best line.
Sometime when you're in a dark place.
Oh, wait a second. I didn't go back and refresh that, did I? Here we go. This is the best line I've ever heard in my life. This is what it's called, and it is a pretty good one. But I need to refresh that, which is here, there, right, because I started playing it too early.
I've ever heard in my life. Sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually you've been planted. The best line I've ever heard in my life. Sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually you've been planted. The best line I've ever heard in my life.
Now, I have to be careful not to let these loop because these things from Facebook loop. So that was good. You know, you haven't been buried, you've been planted. You've been planted to grow. And it's a very, very good expression, that, because that's exactly it. I'm going to do two things at once here. Estoy aquí. Yeah, all right. So yeah, you've been planted to grow, to get your spirits to grow from your experiences, both good and bad. I love that because it's exactly true, isn't it? You haven't been buried like, oh, I'm so snowed under, I'm just buried, I can't think straight. No, you're growing. You know, every challenge that you get thrown at you, you need to take it as an experience for you to rise above the unexpected turbulence that's come in your life. That's exactly what I do. You know, I love a good challenge, something that's going to come new that I haven't experienced before. Believe me, some of the painful ones at the time you'd think, oh my God, I can't get through this. But it's like a storm, isn't it? When you get through it, you really feel proud of yourself. Think, oh man, I made it. I made it. I can't believe it. I'm doing so well. Look how good I'm doing. And a lot of the videos tonight are going to be about this sort of feeling, guys, about making sure that you are appreciative of what you're going through and how special you are, because I really truly believe that if you're here still with me after all of these months that we've been doing this, you have got something that is driving you forward, that you are still curious about what you're really doing here. So 7 mystical signs you're on the path of a spiritual awakening. Let's have a look at this one.
To you, your awakening has begun. 1. You feel disconnected from your old self. What once mattered no longer does. 2. You notice repeating numbers and synchronicities. The universe is speaking. 3. You crave solitude and deeper truths. Superficial conversations no longer fulfill you. 4. Your intuition is stronger. You just know things before they happen. 5. You experience vivid dreams and downloads. Your higher self is trying to communicate. 6. You feel emotionally intense. Awakening stirs up everything within you. 7. You feel called to a divine mission. You know you have a bigger purpose. Your soul is awakening. Comment 999 if you feel this shift happening within you. If these things are happening to you,
I hope that's helpful because, again, from the planting and growing, you need to know what's going on. What have you got? What's planned? Are you really on the right path? Are you doing all the right things to make your things go as smooth as you really want to? Um, let's see where this one is as well. What is this one about? I've forgotten what this one is about now. And then we'll go back and chat about these last two or three things. Yes. Yes.
Purpose, they lose their signal. When your aura dims, everything changes. Your intuition weakens. Your confidence fades. People stop feeling your presence. This isn't fate, it's interference. If your aura feels dim lately, your signal didn't vanish. It was interrupted. The video reveals how to reconnect before it fades further. Most people don't lose their purpose. They lose their signal. When your aura dims, everything changes. Your intuition weakens. Your confidence fades. People stop feeling your presence. This isn't fate, it's interference. If your aura feels dim lately, your signal didn't vanish. It was interrupted. The video reveals how to reconnect before it fades further.
Okay, I thought that was going to go further than that. All right, so let's go back and recap on that. From the planting and the seven signs, also, if your signal is fading, this is a really good one actually, because if your signal fades, it's because you're not tuned in properly. And we've talked about this before. This is the wake up of having the right frequency pattern. So I talked about walkie-talkies. You remember this? So you got two walkie-talkies, and whatever you're trying to tune in on, um, you need to be on the right frequency. So if you're trying to attract love, but you're not in the love energy, you're not going to attract it. If you're trying to attract success, you're not going to attract it. So these two things need to be figured out first. You need to understand about transmitting on the right frequency, and how do you get in the right frequency is a whole other journey, really. You've got to be balanced, you've got to be settled, you've got to be confident, you've got to be in that love energy. You can't be having hatred or vengeance in your heart, or you need to be focused on positive things in your life, because you're not going to vibrate at the right frequency unless you're balanced. And how you're going to get balance is letting go of a lot of these things, forgiving people, letting it go. Don't carry these things in your heart. And it's difficult to do. Please don't think that I'm an expert at it, because, I still have that warrior instinct in me that's like, you know, that's never going to fade from me. I'm always going to have that. But to be able to just say, just let it go, man. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever. You still get these surges of the old person that you used to be, the old energy of, the argumentative, the fighter instead of the forgiver. And that's where I'm at now. I'm just the forgiving type, but don't push me too hard to see where that side comes out of me, because it will come. But I just relax. I'm very at peace these days. I'm peaceful and relaxed. Somebody said to me, "You don't seem like you have much stress in your life," and I'm like, I said, it's probably because I've been through some things that a normal human would not have to go through. Yeah, considering the shit I've been through. So what you would call a 6 or a 7 on the stress, I'm not even going to put it on that scale, because it just doesn't register for me. It's just so far down the list, and it's all relevant, isn't it? I suppose it's like being a millionaire. Millionaires will drop $100,000 on an evening at the Ritz Hotel in London on wine and champagne and oysters, but they won't even think about it, because it's all relevant to what they have, what they're worth. And it's the same on the stress levels for me. Well, some people will think that's a good 7. I'm like, that isn't a 7. It's a 1.5, maybe a 2. Sitting there all night worrying about where your husband is because you've had a slight argument and he's turned his phone off. He's out with his mates. What do you think he's going to go and do? Marry Paris Hilton? He'd be down playing snooker or having a couple of pints, or maybe a kebab and a pizza afterwards. He's not going to do anything so detrimental. He's not going to, stop over imagining the scenarios in your head. And we all do that, don't we? Why have they not texted me? Why am I not getting an answer? Why have they not answered me about the interview yet? You just got to learn to relax. Keep the cortisol levels lower. Keep the stress out of your life. So that's one of the tips that I have for you. Just learn to forgive and learn to let things just play out as they're supposed to play out. It's the easiest thing you can do. All right, choosing silence. This is a nice one. I like this one, because I'm often in a place of silence. You know, New Year's Eve is a great example. Come on, Mahoney, we're all going to a party. Yeah, you are. Great. Well, yeah, I've got something to do, but you know what? It's a fib. And a fib is a nice, cute English word for it. It's a white lie. New Year's Eve, I go home because I don't want the noise. I don't want the aggravation. I'd rather go home and be alone and just be happy in silence.
You gave them silence. They wanted drama. You chose distance. You realized that some situations aren't worth your energy. So you walked away. Not in weakness, but in wisdom. And that's when everything shifted. Because real maturity isn't about proving a point. It's about knowing what deserves your attention. Is protecting your peace the ultimate form of power? They expected a reaction.
Now, this is a different form of peace, this particular message, because this is to do with relationships. This is a really good way of dealing with it, right? Because you'll get into a situation where there will be an argument or a confrontation, and you've got to learn how to diffuse these. And I'm an expert at this, but I'm also very gifted at escalating it because I am guilty of escalating them for my own entertainment. So when I've been in a situation, um, I remember lying in bed with a girl 35 years ago in Philadelphia, probably more. And she thought there was somebody on the roof. And I was like, oh my God, I can hear them. They're on the roof. So I leap out of bed and I'm crawling around like Rambo on the floor, just for my own pure entertainment. And then I looked up and she was absolutely terrified and trying to find the phone to call the police. You know, I was like, hey, man, there's nobody out there. It's just the wind. But some people crave chaos, don't they, in your life? Have you not noticed? You'll meet people, and this is male or female, it doesn't have to be one-sided, that just love the drama, love the chaos, you know? I've got friends like that. It's, oh, yeah, I can't believe it's happened again. You know, everything's negative. And they just crave the drama. And it's not hard. Here's a good one. I didn't pay my electricity bill on time, and now they've cut my power off, and I've got my disabled grandmother coming for a Christmas, and I've got no electricity because I didn't pay the bill, you know? And it's like, then they bring everybody else into this drama, trying to get, okay, let me help you. You don't speak Spanish. Let me go online and I'll call the help agency and let's see if we can get the bill paid. How much is it? Oh, that's not so much. No problem paying your card. Yeah, my card works great. You see what I mean? They just drag everybody into that energetic field of drama and get everybody involved. And then it's like you just feel like saying, would you shut up? It's an electricity bill. She hasn't got cancer. You know, you can just go online and pay it, but you know, you're crying and throwing things around and huffing and puffing. Some people crave the drama. And the best way to deal with these people is the silence. So if you've got a partner that's craving it, you know, sitting next to you, trying to pick a fight on the sofa, just go quiet, and it drives them mad, but it does diffuse the situation because they haven't got anything to fight with you if you're not giving them anything back to fight with. I remember being in a foreign country with a certain woman and that happened, and I was just like, I ain't talking to you. I'm like, you know, you want to start screaming? Can you go in the other room, please? Screaming, go scream there. Go scream at these people in these Arabics out there because I don't want to listen to it. It's not my, you know, you're screaming for no reason. This is all inside your own head. There's nothing wrong. So don't give in to this drama. Don't feed the drama. And if you can, in a possibly nice way, answer in silence and just calm it down. You know, hey. I mean, I'm too drastic because sometimes it's like flogging a dead horse sometimes. At the start of a relationship, you'll say, I totally understand, babe. Okay, I'm really sorry, darling. What can I do to help, darling? But it's like, look, I've told you 20 times about this. This is what happens now. This you're gonna have to deal with it yourself because I'm sick of paying that electricity bill because you never paid on time and they always cut you off. Internet is a typical one I get asked a lot. Do us a favor, money. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. Boundaries. I've done it 5 times for you. You can't get your shit together to pay it. I'm not going to take half an hour of my day to fix you and have to listen to this drama. So don't get dragged into other people's drama because they'll just suck up your positivity and take up your time and leave you breathless, really, is what it does. It's like, Yeah, then you avoid that person. Yes. Okay. Where are we going next? What is this one? Now, did I talk about this last time? Um, where are you? I'm back over here. Um, what? How to recognize a demon-possessed person. Did we play this video last time? Give me a yes or a no. Come on, somebody talk to me. So I'll just play it, see if we played it. If you recognize it, you recognize it. Because um, I want to play this. Yes, just play it. Well, but I'm gonna brief you first. This has happened to me a lot. I meet a lot of people. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I've met quite a few people who've got a demonic attachment, and I see it, and it makes me very curious because I want to try to get it out. Now, I mentioned a minute ago that I'm an expert of escalating things. So when I know there's one in there and I'm in the mood, I will bring it out to play. But they always run. They will never face me. I've never ever been able to grab one properly. And how that actually works is you get it out in that moment when the eyes change and they say the worst, the language that comes out of a tiny little cute girl or an old respectful man. When the demon comes, the things that come out of the mouth is how you know. I'm like, there it is. But they always run because there is a technique that I want to drag it out and I know how to do it. I have been even looking at it more. Wasn't quite sure before, but I've been looking at it recently because the next time it happens to me, I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to drag that thing out of them. So anyway, this is how you can recognize it. Here's some simple ways. I saw this. I thought this is really good. Let's make this bigger and we'll play it. Up, volume up. Why is it not playing?
Person. In understanding spiritual warfare, it's essential to recognize that each person is a vessel that can either be filled with the Holy Spirit or influenced by unclean spirits. The power of no. One of the most straightforward ways to spot a demon-possessed person is by giving them a direct no. People under demonic influence often react violently or manipulatively when faced with rejection or denied what they want. This reaction stems from rebellion, a trait linked to Satan's own rebellion against God, rebellion against authority. Rebellion is deeply rooted in demonic influence. It manifests as an inability to submit to authority, whether it's within family dynamics, workplace settings, or spiritual guidance. The Bible equates rebellion to witchcraft, making it a significant sign of demonic activity. Manifestation of unclean spirits. Unclean spirits often manifest through behaviors such as lying, manipulation, and a general resistance to the truth. When someone is under the influence of a demon, they may exhibit hostility toward the things of God and His authority. Spiritual discernment. The Bible instructs believers to test every spirit to see if it is from God. Recognizing demonic influence requires spiritual discernment, which is heightened through prayer, scripture, and a close relationship with God. Humility versus rebellion. A key difference between someone filled with the Holy Spirit and someone influenced by demons is their response to correction. A Holy Spirit-filled person will show humility and submission, while a demon-possessed person will respond with pride and rebellion.
That is very true. Now, I'll tell you something else interesting. A lot of clairvoyants have demonic attachments. These are negative entities that infest and parasite off good people, basically, people with good hearts, but they have a weakness. They were vulnerable at some moment in the time and let them in. For example, drugs, alcohol, some form of substance abuse. a moment in weakness, playing with the Ouija board, messing about with strange witchcraft rituals that they don't really know what they're doing. Any of these pathways and doorways that you can open, and an entity can come through and attach itself. So most clairvoyants, you have to double take and do some security checks on them. A lot of people that say, "Oh, I have my guides." That's another way of saying, somebody's who's guiding you. Who is it that's guiding you? Is it God guiding you, or is it, somebody else? Have you got my friend Charlie, for example? There's one card reader that comes up periodically on my new video for one of these things that I must have clicked on for some no who knows when. She does card readings. She says, my guy Charlie tells me. But the bottom line is, it's very dangerous to have a lot of these things inside your life. And it often happens when people are teenagers. It tends to be either very sensitive males that have a strong feminine side, if you know what I mean, or women. And they tend to have some sort of trauma behind their history, like something's gone on in there, whether near-death experience or, like I say, Luigi board or one of these other things I've said. But I've often questioned to people's faces, who are your guides exactly? What are their names? Who are they? How do you know who they are? Have you security checked them? Oh, you can't do that, David. In the spirit world, yes, you can. You can verify who they are, and are they genuinely good? And I'm willing to wager 9 times out of 10, there's something that they're covering up. And again, when you confront these people about this, they do not like it. I start screaming, the cursing and the terrible language comes out, and then they run. So it's because they know that me personally, and I'm talking my experience, they know that I'm about to trap them and put them in a corner. And that's why they run. And I'm not talking about the person, the host. I'm talking about the attachment. It's like, okay, who is it that's speaking to you? Who is this that I'm addressing now? Identify yourself, because there are ways, especially words in Latin, that you can say it and they have to identify themselves. And at this stage, the host will start to get squirmy and itchy and start being. I've actually had them reach out and tear my clothes. Get away. And scratch me. I've had that happen before with women that say they have, one of these clairvoyant women over the years, and then they literally get out the room and run, and you never see them again. One of them now I haven't heard from 10 years. And even though she still has the same phone number and lives pretty close and accidentally rang me recently, I was like, oh, let's see what she wants. She didn't even answer, saying, "Did you ring me by accident?" Yes, sorry about that. How are you? No answer, no answer, no answer. I didn't start pounding it, but I was like, with messages bombarding her phone. I was like, yeah, it makes sense because I remember what happened last time. Me identifying who the demonic attachment is, or attempting to, because for some reason, and I've been told this from a few people, I seem to have a power that terrifies these demons. Yeah. Because I'm not scared of them. And they all live off fear. So, now there's another great prayer in the Bible. If anybody ever has anything, before I forget, I'm going to have to Google this actually, because it's a prayer in the Bible and it's called the armor of God. Now, if there's any Bible historians there, have I talked about this before? The armor of God scripture. It's Ephesians 6, 10, 18, where the Apostle Paul instructs believers to put on the armor of God to stand against spiritual evil. It consists of 6 pieces: the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. I'll put all that. I'm going to copy and paste that. Now, there's a prayer that you can do with this. And apparently, I've been told that it's the one prayer where not people, Anybody that has a demonic presence or demons themselves, if you want to believe that, cannot stand when you start to say that because it's so powerful. It's the most powerful prayer you can say against any evil that you might encounter when you start putting on the armor of God, because they can't reach you. They can't reach you then. So do some more research on it yourself. If you ever have a feeling where you have that fear and there's something in your room, an entity with you, put on the armor of God and it'll protect you, they say. Try it, but do your own research. We can't take up the whole show talking about that tonight, eh? The armor of God. But interesting, isn't it? And if you do find these people that you think, you know what, there's something really, they go really dark really quickly. Did you see that? How dark? Yeah, it's probably got an attachment in there. See what other sort of things they're doing. Have they got any history of drug abuse, alcohol abuse? Whether they sort of covered in demonic tattoos for some reason? Hmm. So, um, let me play you another video. What else do I have on my playlist tonight? Can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. That one also. This one also. We haven't played this. This one looks good. Oh, can't wait. Here we go. Let's play this now.
A spiritual awakening is when your soul starts to wake up from the illusion of the world. It usually happens after pain, after loss, heartbreak, depression, or trauma. It's that moment when something inside you says, I can't live like this anymore, there has to be more. You start questioning everything, your beliefs, your habits, your religion, the system, even who you are. You begin to see through the fake things in life. You start feeling energy, noticing synchronicities, angel numbers, and realizing that you're being guided by something higher. You begin to understand that you are not your body or your mind. You are a soul, a consciousness having a human experience. That's what most people mean when they say they woke up. It is the beginning of reconnecting with your higher self and seeing truth in a world full of lies. But the Kundalini awakening, that's something much deeper. It is not just your awareness waking up. It is the divine energy within you rising. This energy sits coiled at the base of your spine, and when it awakens, it moves upward through all your chakras, purifying you from the inside out. And when that happens, it can feel like your entire world is being destroyed, because it is. The energy begins cleansing everything that isn't pure. Your trauma, your suppressed emotions, your false beliefs, even the toxins in your body. That's why people going through a Kundalini awakening can feel heat, shaking, twitching, pressure in the head or spine, emotional breakdowns, and even digestive issues. It's not something to fear.
4 signs you are chosen.
The Kundalini is something I don't really know much about, if I'm honest, because I was always under the impression it's kind of a sexual thing, Kundalini, you know, the rising energy coming up through you. So I don't know much about that. But I do know about energy because I can feel energy in people. So there's so much that we don't really understand yet about all of this, how the energetics work. And I think there's so many different pathways and doorways that you can open to explore this entire world. I've been exploring the whole Akashic records recently, and I've got one more session to do. And you know, it's it's an interesting one because my mother won't leave me alone. As soon as I go in there, my mother's there. It's like, oh, she died 3 years ago yesterday. Is it yesterday? Is today the 3rd? Yeah, she died February 2nd. And I was actually in England yesterday, so I was like, oh, it's 3 years ago today, and I remember the day very well because horrible day. But there was a lot of humor in the day because she died when she basically entered into this assisted nursing home, and as soon as she got in there, she died. And I'm laughing because I was literally I had a flight booked already to go and see her, so I got there around 11 in the morning. She died about 5 in the morning, so I flew from Spain, and they said, I said, can I go see her? And they said, yeah, you can go into that room there. And I walked in, and there was another woman lying in bed, looking very poorly. and all these people around her. And I walked in and I said, who are you? Sorry, who are you? They said, well, I'm Brian, this is Stephen, and that's Stephanie. I said, they said, well, who are you? I said, well, I'm the son. They said, no, I'm the son. I said, oh, then I looked again, and it wasn't my mother. It was some other ones. So I was like, oh, sorry, mine's the dead one next door. So there was a lot of humor that day, which my mum would have enjoyed a lot, actually. So 3 years has passed very, very fast. Can't believe it. So I had a couple of whiskeys yesterday. I had a couple of Jamesons. In memory, that was her favorite little tipple when she did drink. So I was in an England pub very close to where she was living before, just out of pure coincidence. And yeah, just had a little memory. And I think remembering your ancestors is important, not just your immediate loved ones, but I think, if you're lucky enough to have your entire family members buried in a cemetery close to you, I think what the like how the Mexicans do on November the 1st, All Saints Day, it's very nice. To go back and remember them because that's what you want to do. You have to remember your ancestors. I'm just going to put my email address in here for Sonia. Sonia's looking to get something. I better give her my email address. Incidentally, guys, that was something else I meant to tell you about. The sabotaging energy that's been going on recently with my business stuff has been very interesting. There we go. Sonia, I'm going to send you my email and I'll send you the link of what you need because we do have it. Yeah, been a lot of sabotage going. All of a sudden, I wasn't allowed to process one Visa card transactions for clients that wanted to buy stuff, and then something else happened. And my team have just been, they said, oh, Dave, I really don't want to tell you this. I'm like, just tell me. But I never get angry. I never like, what? What the hell? And it's basically, normally people acting in jealousy, they make these claims against you, like, oh, I bought this and I never got it. And you say, well, actually, this isn't a real client, or actually, you got it. You're just trying to get, your money back. You're trying to scam us. But the sabotage energy has been around, but all of a sudden, this is what I'm saying, there's a change in the wind. All of a sudden, the last 2 days have just gone bang, sorted. And I've sat for the last few weeks it's been going on. I've just said, I know this is going to get sorted. I won't have to get stressed out about it. And it does. And that's the thing is when you truly believe in what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing, you have this protected energy around you. People will always try to stop you achieving your goals and achieving what you're supposed to be doing, but it never works. Bad does not win against good. Good and evil, this battle. It's pointless trying to play with it, and trying to control the direction of where it goes because it's going to go where it needs to go. So I like that. It makes me laugh, actually. People trying to trip me up. Come on, you need very long legs, very long legs to try and trip me up. Does this all make sense? Because I'm watching what's going on in this other thing I'm involved with now, this ceremony that's going on. So far, so good on that. Where are we going now? I don't know if we've done that. Oh, this is a good one. We'll play this one. Let me go back and hit that and share. Do. I think I should probably
drop in the ocean. Yeah. You are the entire ocean in a single drop. We've been raised to believe we are small, fragments floating in a vast, indifferent universe. But the great cosmic joke is that you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, looking at itself through your eyes. Behind your name, your job, your memories, there is a still presence. It is not bound by time, not shaped by fear. It is older than the stars, yet reborn in every breath. That is your true self. And once you realize this, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing purpose, as if it's hiding in some far-off mountaintop. You become the purpose. You stop asking the world for permission to be great, because you finally understand you are the one writing the script. So, do not shrink to fit into the molds others have made for you. Do not wait for the world to awaken before you do. The fire you seek has always been inside you. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been.
Remembering who you've always been. I watched that earlier, and that's the line at the end. Right, that ends on the line so powerful, isn't it? Remembering who you've always been. Because we should recap about a few things. You know, I wish I could remember the actual figures, but if you think about how many people have had to meet successfully to reproduce all the people that reproduced them that reproduced you. So your mother and father, their mother and father, their grandparents, great grandparents, go back through that whole lineage line of how many people have successfully had to procreate. And it isn't easy. People often think, oh, it's easy having children. It's not. There's 3 days a month. You've got to be fertile, and then you've got all the disease and everything else. I'm just trying to get rid of that. You've got all the diseases, wars, afflictions. You know, the chances of all of these people surviving over the years just so you can exist today are it's incalculable. But there's something like 25,000 people have had to get together just because you're here right now. So is that by accident? You really think that's by accident? And especially if you're using your talents and skills in a way that's beneficial to mankind, womankind, if you really want to be politically correct, to humanity. It's not by accident. You're here for a purpose. Now, the most frustrating part about all of this is trying to figure out what the purpose is, clearly. Now, some of us have found out early in life. Some of us have wandered into that field where you say, look, I'm brilliant at what I do. I'm a hypnotherapist, or, I'm a plumber, or whatever you're doing. If you found your calling in life early in life, that's an amazing gift that the divine has given you. Because a lot of people are still wandering around. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Remember when you were 16 and you used to have a career counselor day? It's like, okay, so what do you fancy then? What you want to do? And like, I have no clue. Like, I remember mine, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. All my friends were going into exactly what the dads were doing. It was really boring jobs like, pipe fitters and bricklayers. And, for me, I find that boring, just doing one thing every day. But to be able to tune into divine and ask him for a bit of guidance and some shared info and some tips and some knowledge just to manipulate you a little bit further on the right journey. Just turn me left or turn me right. It's it's a very nice way of doing things. It's a because that's what I do. I say, okay, here I am. I'll be your servant. I'm putting you can use me however you want. Show me what you want me to do. And he's shown me this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's quite funny because I've been training for it for all my life, really, with all of the skills and talents, and then all the way through COVID. And I don't know how many of these videos I've done, honestly, just thousands of nightly broadcasts sitting in the studio by myself, talking to one camera. Nobody here. Sometimes there's people in here. Most of the time, there isn't. Very rarely, actually, is there other people in the studio because it's 8 o'clock at night, and most people want to have, family time. So it's an interesting situation to understand and acknowledge that you are a miracle where you are right now in your life, because the chances of you existing and being healthy and compos mentis are pretty slim. But you've made it because your ancestors made it, and they beat all the odds, and they beat all the odds. And the further back it goes, the odds were even higher of them surviving because of disease and battles and wars and murderers and floods, volcanoes, Romans, Spartans, all these people trying to kill you, kill everybody, Vikings and Germanic hordes steaming across the countryside, wherever you're from. So you are an existing miracle in yourself. So don't waste it. Tune in. Try to figure it out. I'm not sure where else you need to go to try and figure it out, but continue on your journey. If you're comfortable where you're at, that's even better. But if there's some burning desire inside you that's saying, you know what, I'm kind of ready for something else. There's something else out there. You've got to ask Divine to give you some guidance about where to find that information. And that's what I've done, and it worked for me. So, guys, I'm going to end a little bit early because I've got to jump on this end call into the States here. I've got four notifications. I'm going to head off about 3 minutes early tonight. I'll be back on Friday. I need to get Nick Sylvester on, really. I haven't talked to him for a while. I'll try to get him on for Friday. Let's see what he's doing, okay? But in the meantime, enjoy your week. I should do some more words of wisdom. I should get some more stuff out on I should do a lot of things, but it's all about finding the time and not forcing it. When the words of wisdom want to come out, Divine will say, hey, it's time for you to get some more info out. But in the meantime, we are getting these videos out. If you need me, my email address has been posted, or you can reach me through the social media, and I will be back on Friday. And in the meantime, I hope you have a very pleasant week. Okay? Right, guys, I'm definitely going now, and no more rambling. See you soon.